Hello, dear students. This is Mr. Rashid to take you a course on philosophy. This course is rightly prepared just for you to understand the course called philosophy. And under this course, you might be exposed to so many things under philosophy. But mind you, we are not going contrary to what the course talks about. So, to start with, philosophy is a discipline that, if not for the level of our government understanding and their exposure, it would have been a compulsory course right from primary to secondary school. But maybe because of the contents and the fear of delivering the right message, that is how or why it is being limited only to higher institution of learning. But be that as it may, let's start from the introduction of philosophy. It is well known fact that every discipline has its own philosophical approach upon which that course or discipline rests upon. But philosophy as a discipline can be applied to many fields or disciplines. Talk about business, talk about technology. Is it management? Is it art? Is it religion? Economics? Political science? Education? Even life artists? We so look at it. So it means that philosophy, looking at it as a course, is being related to many other fields, because the only one that you can easily recognize now based on your own discipline too, you could have heard about philosophy of education. But in economics, we have philosophy. Likewise in other fields. Also, what is the meaning of philosophy? Philosophy can be viewed under four perspectives. The first one is etymological view. Etymological view. Normally, the word philosophy is derived from Greek word. If you break it into two, we have philo, which means love, and we have sophia, which means wisdom. So in Greek word, it is not called philosophy, rather it is called philosophia. So when you now combine the two words together in English, philosophy means love of wisdom. But when you now take this, you now take it far away from there, it means that philosophy can be taken as a love of knowledge, because a knowledgeable man, a knowledgeable person is also seen as a wise man. That is the first view about the meaning of philosophy. It means love of wisdom. And number two is popular sense view. Under the popular sense view, it talks about the personal attitude of life and the universe as a whole, in which it describes the manner to which an individual responds to circumstances, belief, issues, events, and so on. Under this popular sense view, it is also the thinking of a group of people in a particular society, which these will now later turn to be their norms. And a typical example of popular sense view is people's view about life and death. In Africa, we have something called reincarnation, meaning that the soul of a person who has passed away, we have ways of replicating them back in Africa. Example, in Nigeria, we have it that the king, we don't mention it that the king is dead. Rather, we only have it that the king has transcend to join his ancestors. So it means that in that realm in Africa, in Nigeria, we don't believe the death of a king. That is a philosophy in Africa, Nigeria. Another one, sometimes in other part of religion, whether Christian or Muslim or the other type, there are some people, a righteous person is never believed to have passed away so or on a total norm. Normally, we only believe that such a person did not die. Rather, we only believe that the person has transcended from one world to another, either leaving this wicked world to another world for eternal bliss or enjoyment. That is popular sense view about death in Africa. And if you go to a country like China, a country like India, they also have their own view about that. Then the third one, about the meaning of philosophy, it can also be viewed as motto of various societies, organizations, associations, and institutions. Meaning that sometimes when you see an organization or societies or association, what you see in them is that you see motto, and the motto now here represents the goal of that organization. So that motto you are having on every society organization can also be viewed as the philosophy of that organization. So these mottos are set as targets to be achieved in due time. Then the fourth meaning of philosophy is academic view. Philosophy is also seen as academic discipline offered in colleges, universities, and to which those who are involved devote their time and energy. In this sense, it means that philosophy is an activity that involves critical analysis, logical thinking, systematic thinking in order to arrive at sound, deep reflection, coherent, systematic questioning, evaluation, and consistent conclusions. So all these, when you look at it together, you look at it from the angle that philosophy could be viewed as etymological, popular sense view, the motto of an organization, and academic view. You will not see that is why some people go to universities to study philosophy. And you that have not studied philosophy as a discipline, you are having it as a course which is compulsory, because it will open your mind to many things which you may not think about within you. Then you will now see that sometimes anybody who has attained this level of education to PhD level, and the meaning of PhD means Doctor of Philosophy. Doctor of Philosophy. It means at that level, your thinking goes beyond the ordinary person. Because when you have any concept as a PhD person or student, you think outside your own convenience in order to bring out another theory. So those are the meaning of philosophy. But when you now look at the meaning of philosophy from contemporary views, you now see that it has many meanings. Apart from the one I've mentioned earlier, we can also take philosophy from other views, like number one, philosophy in contemporary view can be seen as an activity used for clarifying ideas through asking questions. Because in philosophy class, questions will be raised, and those questions demand answers. It is also the study of human reactions. How do you react to some issues, especially when the issues are beyond your own comprehension? It is also the study of rational activities of a man. Also, it is the search of ultimate truth. In philosophy, what you are looking for is the ultimate truth. Then it is the study of critical analysis of every situation and event. The study of critical analysis of every situation and event. And also it is the critical examination of each concept which organizes human experience in socio-political, economic, and religious life. So it means that when you study philosophy at the in-depth situation, all these will be revealed to you, and you get to know them in due time. Apart from that, let's look at the scope of philosophy. The scope of philosophy means the areas at which philosophy covers. And one of the scopes of philosophy is, one, philosophy as a love of wisdom. Philosophy as the love of wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is something higher than experience. Wisdom in this sense is viewed and rated than ordinary knowledge. Somebody might be knowledgeable, but if that person is not wise enough, there's no how you will place a wise man beside a knowledgeable person, where the wise man will not outweigh the knowledgeable person, because knowledge is acquired through experience, while wisdom could be a natural blessing or something you acquire through rigorous critical thinking. So that is why when you want to compare philosophers to ordinary person, you can actually draw the distinction between both of them, because a philosopher thinks farther than ordinary knowledgeable person. So under the scope of philosophy, it looks at philosophy as a love of wisdom. So I will now implore you that you studying philosophy as a course now, it means that after this course, philosophy, you must be a wise person, because you will have been exposed to so many things that will take you far away from ordinary person. And number two, philosophy as the rational explanation of nature. It means that philosophy as an explanation of nature means it is an induction that is generally used to generalize existence, which and whereby it takes logical reasoning for ordinary person to understand. Example, it is that in philosophy, under the rational explanation of nature, there is a concept there that everything is water, meaning everything is from water. That is a philosophical concept under explanation of nature. Then when you look at this one, you might want to ask again that another concept there is that everything is from water and sand. When you think about this, you might likely be confused that how would everything be from water and also everything from sand? When you look at a human being, you can reasonably say that we are from water, because the spermatozoa that comes between the man and the woman that join together, that forms a human being, is in a form of water. And when you now see that this spermatozoa is being multiplied, we recycle it among each other, and that brings about multiple human beings on earth. And when you look at sand, you look at after the death of everything, that thing turns to sand. Example, if you go to a farm, a bush, cut down all the grasses in a dry season, all the grasses will turn to what? Sand. If a man died today and you bury the man, after 1, 2, 3 or 4 months, what happened to that person is that the person will turn to what? To sand. So, but when this word is being mentioned to ordinary person without philosophical understanding and explanation, the person might not understand the concept. So take note that everything is from water and everything is from sand. Another one here is philosophy as the critical and logical analysis of language. Here it is talking about language on its own is a challenge that is being put upon human being, because when you look at language, there's nothing you can say about language except that language being taken in philosophical dimension, meaning the language, if something is being mentioned to you, if you want to translate that language to another language, if you want to take it word for word, you will misinterpret the language. But the only thing you can do is to digest the language philosophically, then you now translate the language to a simpler form. Another one here is philosophy as the search for ideal life. Under this, there are so many questions that are being asked. Number one is that, is there an ideal life? If yes, who lives an ideal life? Is it a rich man, a poor man, or a middle class person? So ideal life seems not to be ideal. And we cannot say that no one lives an ideal life. That is in the philosophical realm, because a rich man also we think he is the best person. A poor man we also think he is the best person, while the middle class man also we think he or she is the best person. So to live an ideal life, it depends on individual's perspective. Thank you.